Hey there, Fletcher from All Things Overlanding here, and today I'm going to be talking about this Surgoal heated jacket. It is about 30 degrees out here. It's going to drop into the teens or the 20s tonight, so something like this makes a big difference when you're out winter camping. So I just wanted to kind of run you through the features of this. This thing has a really unique feature which allows you to use pretty much any power bank, and I'm going to walk you through that and why that matters. So if you want to learn more about a good waterproof winter jacket for winter camping, winter overlanding, things like that, that's also pretty budget priced, then stay tuned to learn more about the Surgoal heated jacket.
Understand where it came from, but you got it, my got it. It began in the land of the sandstorm. I fought it, though I wanted everything to do with what you give to me. Loosening my grip.
All right, guys, so as I mentioned in the intro, today I'm going to be talking about this Surgoal heated jacket. Now, I'm going to kind of get a little closer to the camera here. I'm going to show you some of the cool features of this thing, and I'm going to talk a little bit more about this in detail. But the main thing that I want to get across with this is the majority of these coats predominantly have a proprietary barrel-style plug, sort of like this, like the opposite of this, and you have to use their batteries. That's kind of how they get you, right? Is they sell you a coat for, say, 80 to 150 bucks, and then you have to buy their batteries to power it. So if you want multiple batteries, you're locked into their ecosystem. You can only buy their batteries. Generally, they have certain sizes. So like this one comes with a 10,000 milliamp hour battery, which is a good size battery, but not a huge battery. I've got bigger ones. I've got 25,000 milliamp hours sitting everywhere in my office, in my house, that are 2.5 times the size, right? And could give you 2.5 times the capacity of this 10,000 milliamp hour battery. This coat is different. And the thing that makes it different is this little inverter converter thing that they give you that has a USB-A on one side and then the inverted barrel plug on this side. So the coat itself comes with a barrel plug that plugs into a hole this size. And on their battery, they have that hole, right? But most batteries that we buy, they don't have a barrel plug on them because they're not meant for specifically being used with a heated coat. So with this little inverter thing, you can plug this part into the barrel plug that comes out of the coat, and then this into any power bank with a USB-A, and you can run the coat off of any power bank that you want. So think about this. If you were sitting at camp, there was a Patreon trip that we did a couple weeks ago, and it was dead of winter, and we were sitting around for a few days in Hoosier National Forest, just camping, just hanging out around the fire. I've got a 1500 watt hour power bank that's humongous that I could literally plug this coat into just because I'm just sitting around the fire anyways, just camping, and I could run this thing all weekend without ever having to swap out batteries or worry about the batteries dying or getting cold or anything like that. You could run off a huge power bank if you're stationary, or you could put, again, like a 25,000 milliamp hour or some sort of a bigger battery that you've already got in your battery collection in your pocket, and then you could run this coat for a longer period of time. You can hot swap batteries, so you don't have to worry about, do I have enough juice? So this makes a huge difference, and that makes this coat really, really unique. Now, a couple of other features of the coat. The material itself is like super, super waterproof and super heavy duty. I'll also point out I'm about 6'2", and I'm not a huge guy, but I'm not a tiny guy. I'm about 220. This is an extra large. I also really like, you've got a hood here, right? So you can pull this hood up. So if it's raining, if it's snowing, that's when I predominantly use my heated coats, is in the winter when it's going to be snowing and stuff. I want to keep that snow off my eyes and out of my sight when I'm running around setting up camp or tearing down camp. Either way, you've got this zippable, super high, chin level piece on the bottom. This Velcro too is like super heavy duty Velcro. It's not like your normal Velcro where it's really sort of like fabric-y. It's almost more plasticky, but it's really super heavy duty and it sticks really, really well. There are 4 pieces of it, so you get enough coverage that it keeps your zipper covered and keeps, water, rain, snow out of your jacket to help keep the water out and keep you waterproof and dry. But it's because there's just a few of them, they're really, really easy to pull this away and then unzip the coat. You also get up here 2, waterproof, sort of like sealed up waterproof pockets here. So if you wanted to keep, say, your phone or your wallet or something dry, you could put them up here for easy access. You've also got stuff on your sleeve. So again, right here, you've got a small little pocket. So you can put whatever you want in there, put gloves in there, put whatever. That is on the left-hand side. You've also got this fabric inside of here. So if you're wearing gloves and stuff, this makes it nice. It's also got a thumb hole in it. So this would make it good so that you can put your gloves on and your gloves will pull up in here. And then you've got these Velcro pieces on the cuffs as well. So again, this is intended for you to be using, let's say when you're skiing or when you're camping in the winter and you put on your gloves. This is going to make sure that all that heat stays inside of the gloves, and then you can seal this up around the gloves to sort of hold them in place and make sure that all that heat is, again, not escaping through your sleeves, which is really, really nice. Another thing to point out that I noticed is on the inside here, this material is this almost like this reflective material, which I've never seen in these jackets. Usually it's just the same material on the inside that it is on the outside. And so I have to imagine that that does a lot to sort of keep that heat in, which is really nice. Now, one more thing to point out is I actually really like the placement of the controls. So the controls are down here. On a lot of these coats, they're sort of up here on the chest, but when you're doing that, you can't really see the buttons. It's kind of hard to reach up here and manipulate those buttons. So I actually kind of like that they're down here, because then I can just sort of bend over and see exactly, you know, what my controls are. Now, you have a couple of heating elements up here on the front, and then you've also got several of the big pads down the back. And so you can control these independently. So if you want to save battery, then you could, you know, not turn on the back. You could just turn on the front, that kind of thing. It does heat up right underneath where your hands are too, which is nice. So when I put my hands in these pockets, I can feel the warmth coming through there, which is awesome. And then you've got multiple levels too. So like green, red, blue. I think red is the warmest, followed by green, and then blue is like the coolest. So I've got these both turned all the way up. But again, I'm using the default 10,000 milliamp hour battery. I've been using this for probably 20-30 minutes now. It came with 3 out of 4 bars on the battery, and it displays your battery life on here too, which I really like. But it hasn't even moved in 20 or 30 minutes. We haven't even dropped a bar. So we'll see how much time we get out of this, but I'll put up on the screen here how much time they say you get with the 10,000 milliamp hour battery. But remember, you can hot swap batteries or put a bigger battery in, which is awesome. And then just 2 more things that I want to point out. One of which is under the arms here, you actually have these zippable adjustable vents. So, you know, let's say that you're wearing this hiking and it's cool but not super cold and you start to get warm. You can open up these vents and you can let it be a little bit breathable. So you can let some of the air in, or you can zip them closed if it's really cold to keep all the heat in. So that's kind of a nice feature as well. And then as far as pricing goes, I've actually seen quite a bit of disparity on the pricing. It kind of tends to move a little bit. So I've seen it as inexpensive as about $80 up to $120. So it just kind of depends, but definitely check through that link below to see the best price. And hopefully it's on the lower side of that for you when you look at it. All right, so that will do it for the Surgoal Heated Coat. So hopefully that was helpful for you. Of course, there's a link in the description down below if you want to check it out, learn more about it, and possibly pick one up. So definitely check that out. If you have any questions or comments or anything like that, drop those down below. If you got value out of the video, make sure to click that like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure to click the subscribe button, because I do a couple videos every week. I talk a lot about gear. I do a lot of do-it-yourself and beginner type stuff. So if you're just getting into overlanding, or if you just like to hear that kind of stuff, if you're into kind of hearing what people are doing when they're learning about overlanding and things like that, then this would be a good channel for you. And I'd love to have you as a subscriber. So definitely click that subscribe button. Also below this video is a join button, which is just sort of a passive way to support the channel. It'll get you early access to the videos and my podcasts that I do every couple weeks. So if you're into that stuff, if you want early access, if you just want to say, hey, thanks for the videos, click on that join button down below. But if you want to be more involved with all things overlanding, there's also a link to my Patreon group, which is a ton of fun. We've got tons of awesome guys in there. We've done a couple trips in 2025. We're planning more in 2026. There's a 24/7 Discord, and we do a once-a-month Zoom call. So there's tons of value there. So check that out if you think that the Patreon sounds fun. Of course, there's also a link to my website where I've got funny overlanding camping themed patches and stickers, things like don't burn your wiener and it's a hot dog, or I hate people so I camp, or F people, let's go overlanding. Funny designs, and there's a new one coming in early 2026 as well, so definitely consider checking those out. And then last but not least, there is a link to the Newbie Overlanders Facebook page. Now, this group is totally free to join, so definitely consider joining that group if that sounds good and you're on Facebook. We'd love to have you. But again, hopefully that was helpful information about the Surgoal coat. Post up in the comments if you have questions, and we'll see you next time.